I thought that my voice was heard, and I don't think I was ever on the thing. But yes, this is the NXT show right after Stand and Deliver, and this will be for the time being, a solo stream. What is going on, everybody? I am Bad Guy Jack. Forgive me because I wasn't prepared for solo, but I am here. I cannot wait to talk NXT with you guys. Hope you guys are excited about NXT Stand and Deliver. Was this past Saturday. We didn't get an opportunity to review it. But before I go any further and talk about Stand and Deliver, you're watching NXT, you're watching Unpopular View, NXT. If you're liking what you're seeing, give it a like, give it a share. If you're on YouTube, thumbs up. Twitter, reshare it to all your friends. And I don't know what they do on Twitch, but they do Twitch things. So why don't we talk NXT Stand and Deliver? I see everybody. I see the people in the chat. I see Jay. I want to get into the chat real quick. We see Jay. This thumbnail gave me PTSD from Bron losing. Wow, really? Hey, everyone. What's going on? George says NXT was pretty good. You know, before I started the show, right? I saw that you said that I called that Bron is now a heel. I don't remember ever saying that. I think I was saying that out of jest and just being silly. But is it really a heel turn? We're going to talk about that a little bit later. And George also mentions that Bron is now a heel. And we're going to talk about that. But I do want to talk about Stand and Deliver. We're going to give it like 5 minutes, and then we're going to talk about tonight's show. I have the lineup. I'm just going to scroll down real quick so it can help me remember. So one of the matches we had Duke Hudson. It was Duke Hudson, but it was Chase University against Schism. It was the opening match. It was on the pre-show. It was some pretty good stuff. It was solid. It did what it had to do. You know, you have Schism. It was mainly about this match was the debut of Ava Raine, right? We got the debut of her. We got to see what she can do. And there was very little that we saw from her. She did some slams. She grabbed and pulled. I would like to see more because you didn't see a lot from that match. So I would like to see more out of her. Something I kept saying for the longest time, and all you guys laughed at me. I was like, Duke is the real hero here. But you guys sat there and said, no, he's the turncoat. Keep your eye on him. I did keep my eye on him. And guess what? He saved Chase University. Chase, you get the win. I thought it was a good match. I thought it was okay. It did what it had to do. It was an opener. The next match that we had on the card, we had the women's ladder match. Sorry, this is an outdated version of it. Obviously, there was we're missing Indi Hartwell and former champion Roxanne Perez. But it was a good way to open the show. I personally felt like if you really wanted to open up hot, you should have opened up with a Fatal 5-Way. But they opened up with this, which wasn't a bad opener. And these women went out there and killed it. These women were saying, like, yeah, we're going to kill it. And I was surprised. Indi Hartwell, if I can say, was like a dark horse pick. I picked Roxanne Perez to retain because I said, well, what was the point of this story where she's like sick, hurt, but she's not really, and then they put in the match. So I didn't understand that. So I assumed that she would retain. I didn't think she would lose it. But Indi Hartwell wins the championship. We're going to talk a little bit more about her because she opens up tonight's NXT. What else we have here? I don't even think I'm getting this ordering right. Once again, outdated graphics. But we have the NXT Fatal 5-Way, which was great. I thought this was easily the match of Stand and Deliver. This match, they went out there and they killed it. I really liked the ending where it was dragging out. He was going to go for that running flying headbutt. And I knew he wasn't going to win because his whole main attention, even though he was trying to go for the championship, right? You knew him. He really just wanted to get his hands on JD McDonough. He just wanted to fight him. But it was cool because it looked like he was going to get the win. And then the way Wesley comes out of nowhere with the kick, I'm sorry, not thinking of the actual name, and hitting it like midway. And although it wasn't executed the way I'm pretty sure they wanted it to be, it came out really good. Matter of fact, let me rephrase that. I like what they were going for, but I feel like he didn't really hit it all the way. But nonetheless, it was still a cool ending. I really enjoyed that match. Good stuff there. I don't have a graphic for this. This is so sad. But the NXT Women's Tag Team Championship was on the line. And for me, I mean, it was a match. It was there. I really feel it was just more for the storyline, just to progress the storyline between Finley and I'm forgetting all these names. It's why it's always good to have a partner. But Fallon and Kiana, and yeah, I'm just happy they got the titles off them. I'm really interested in seeing what Al-Adon and Alba Fire can do as champions. So there's that. We also had this match. This was a really good match too. Johnny Gargano against Grayson Waller. Very brutal. I think this is the most brutal match I've ever seen Johnny Gargano in. He was bloody. There's a spot towards the end. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about this match, right? We have Johnny's getting dominated in front of his once again, and it's so sad. I hate to say that, but he was getting dominated in front of his wife and kid. And then Candice realized she had to make up for watching her husband get his ass kicked all those weeks ago. So she interfered. Grayson did everything he could, but he's not Thanos. He got double teamed by husband and wife. The spot where Johnny put the chair over Grayson's neck and he smacks it. I said, Jesus. I kind of hope that they add that in the next 2K because that was brutal. That looked brutal. That looked like it sucked. And he beats him with the Gargano escape. And I thought it was a really good match. Really, really good match. And I'm making sure I'm not forgetting nothing I might be. And I want to hear what you guys thought about Stand and Deliver. It's really just a quick review on this card, on this show. But we have Bron Breakker against Carmelo Hayes from the NXT Championship. As you guys all know, Melo is the new NXT champion. And I'm for it. Braun put on his working shoes. I think Braun gets a lot of heat. Although tonight it didn't seem that way because the crowd was all like, one more time. This is why I don't trust people. But we have Bron Breakker and Melo go out there. And they had a really solid match. I feel like as good as this match was, they didn't hit the second gear or third gear, if you will. I feel like the next encounter that these two have, it's going to be something. It's really, really going to be something. It's for me. So years ago, John Cena and AJ Styles had a match, right? And the first match, I was like, yeah, that's good, but the second one's going to be way better. And to me, I was right. And so I sit here and say that the next encounter is going to be a lot better. My hair's all messed up, but I see you guys in the chat. I'm sorry. Let me get to you guys in the chat. Can we see you guys in here? We got, hey, everybody. Let's get here. Bad guy, tag me in. Are you good for the hot tag, George? Are you good for that? We got Me Too review. Love that moment. We got Gigi was so close to capturing the title until JC caused the match. I never saw Gigi winning. I feel like they put her in there just as a body, and they're going to continue. She's going to continue her feud with JC, and I didn't think that the NXT Women's Championship was ever going to be involved in that feud. So and by the way, is she healed? Like, is she good to go now? Because I mean, she came out. I'm interested to know, is she healed? We got. I want to see JD win. A little sad. I guess you didn't get what you wanted. I called it Alba Fire and Al-Adon were going to win. Same. Alba and Al-Adon. Jeffrey Fallon, Henley, and Kiana James are going to lose next week. Yeah. We got. I love the match. Johnny wife Grayson's. Yeah, Grayson got some welches on his back, man. I mean, he really took a beating out there. He went out there. We got Let's Go. We got Jay in here. Jay, you're like the biggest Braun fan here, and I love the energy. Like, you stick with it. You're just like, I appreciate that. That you're a big fan. That made my night. We had Braun is now a heel, and I'm liking it. But is he really a heel though? Let's ask that. Is he really a heel? I mean, in that match, Trick interfered. I mean, he interfered and helped Melo win. So maybe it's just Braun not being an idiot. Like, yeah, I got screwed. You know, maybe he's just saying they wanted to get revenge. Is he really a heel? But we're going to talk about it. I can't wait to hear you guys in the chat. We got, yeah, George, we know they ain't getting it back. And we got, the captain took the night off tonight. She's off tonight. But if you guys want to see her later in the week, you know, to catch her and women's, Women's Wrestling Talk. Sorry, there's a lot of W's in there. Women's Wrestling Talk. You catch her on Thursday at 5 p.m. for Women's Army and NXT. So if you want to hear her thoughts, she'll be there on Thursday. We got Stand and Deliver. Gigi and JC feud is not. No, it's not. But I'm asking, is JC healed? I don't know anything. But forgive me as I take out my notes. See, I don't text because I don't have good thumb endurance. After a while, I get tired. So I do the old-fashioned thing and I write. But NXT, it opens up with Indi Hartwell. And, you know, the crowd is really happy for Indy. Everyone's very, very happy for her. She won the championship. She gets an Indy wrestling chant, you deserve a chant. She says she's given up what she was going to say about winning the women's championship because she just didn't see it happening for her. She was like, that's not going to be a thing. She said she would win. She would win matches. She would have momentum, and then she would just keep being dragged down. She just found it very impossible for her to be champ. She said, I won go with Candice LeRae, but she said, can I do it on my own? And can I say right here, though, right? Can I just say right here, I'm happy that she won, but did she really win it on her own? Her husband helped her. So, I mean, yeah, I know words. But she said, could she do it on her own? And she thanks the fans for never giving up on her. Such a baby face that she is. And she says she acknowledges. I love that Roman has made that word now, like in every sentence. I feel like I never heard anyone say acknowledge as much as now. I'm just saying, Roman is I also want to hear you guys' thoughts on WrestleMania. I mean, let's have a wrestling chat. Let's talk NXT. Let's make this a fun thing, you know? I'll be quite frank, everybody. Oh, it looked like I am going to actually have a co-host. I was not prepared for this, but here we go. I'll wait until the person's ready to come in. Bring yourself in.
I would have liked it if you brought me in, but I had to bring myself in. So apparently, good evening, sir.
How are you, partner? How's everything?
I'm good, partner. I'm good. I'm not as good looking or as graceful as your normal partner, but I feel like this is a good combination. So thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
No problem. No problem. We're just talking some NXT. Sure. Real quick, I usually ask my partner off rip, what did you think about NXT? I already was breaking down one segment, but why don't you give quick thoughts on what you thought about NXT tonight?
I think it was a good show in terms of, you know, just coming off the back of a takeover. I think that it was really a great show. Jeffrey, what's going on? It was a really great show. I loved the double turn at the end. I really did appreciate the double turn with Bron Breakker and Melo. I feel like that's something that I really want to dive into. Cora Jade coming back, that was A1 like that. I don't want to get into the show without talking about it, but it was a really great show. I liked it.
Good. So I was just mentioning how Indi Hartwell, she opens up the show. She was thanking the fans for never giving up on her. She acknowledges Roxanne and says she's going to give her first title shot. But Zoe Stark says, I'm tired of this crap. And I got to sit here and say, honestly, Zoe Stark's gotten a lot better on the mic. I remember that one time when she first turned on Nakia Lyons, and you could tell she was just overthinking. She wasn't comfortable. But I felt like tonight she was a lot more comfortable. Could there still be work? Of course. There's always things you can always constantly improve and be better. But I thought tonight she really shined. She says she calls this crap. I love when she said, okay, yeah, you won a champion. Pigs fly and unicorns are real, which they're not real, by the way. And she said she's upset that she has the belt and she's not a legend and not on the level of any other prior champions. And says she's way down there. So she sits there and says, you're talking about giving a shot to Roxanne, who's been radio silent. How about you give me a shot? How about we go tonight? To which Indy was like, yeah, let's go. Let's do it. So they're going to have a match later in the night. These two will compete. I'm sorry, I had pictures and everything. But yes, these two will be competing later in the night. And I like how Zoe changed her leather jacket. It was always been black. Now it's like sky green or blue. I don't know what color.
I like the fact that these two are in the ring together. I feel like that's like there's something about Zoe Stark saying that you were mentioning that she wasn't always good on the mic. She is solid in the ring as an in-ring talent. She's probably one of the best hands that NXT has. Just combining that with good mic work, which tonight she was on for some reason. Like every point she was hitting, it was like bam, bam, bam. It was like wonderful. But Indi Hartwell has been, in my opinion, very overlooked. And I think that she's so deserving of being NXT Women's Champion. It was kind of a shock. We thought they were going to put the belt back on the former Roxanne. I call her Rock. I almost called her Roxy, but her original name, but Roxanne Perez. But I think that they made an awesome choice. The Way literally won last weekend. If we think about it, Austin Theory won at WrestleMania. Johnny Gargano and Indy Hartwell both won at TakeOver. So the Way owned the weekend, just like the Bloodline. No, we're not gonna do that. But I do think that, the match later was a really great match. But I think I really like it. Jeffrey asked, "Are we ever gonna find out who laid out the women? That's been disappearing. That's been a disappearing investigation."
Are we ever gonna find out? No. Have we ever? Well, no, they actually did that one time. Did we ever find out who was the guy, the GM, and the laptop? And I think it was revealed to be Hornswoggle. So never mind. Some mysteries have been solved. But do I think that they're going to find out the woman that has been laid out? No. I think it's going to be the greatest mystery of all time. The greatest look. Can you stop shaking the camera? I almost got seasick there. I didn't know what was going on there. Jeffrey was agreeing with you because he says, "I say Roxy, it's still the same."
I really feel like it's the same. I mean, yeah. George just said Zoe Starks is ready for the main roster. Definitely agree with that. Zoe is ready for the main roster. George also says, I have to say that Indy Hartwell as NXT Women's Champion, I've got to see how it goes.
I do want to say, I agree to that. I think Zoe Starks. Matter of fact, I almost felt like this was her swan song. You know what it reminded me of? Reminded me of last year. Bron Breakker, he won the championship from Dolph Ziggler. And then Gunther came out, and they had a match, and I thought, wow, this is a match you should save for one of those PLEs. But whatever, we're gonna get it here, and it was a good match. And what was it? I don't know how long after. Let's say like a month or two later, he was called up to the main roster. And I think with Zoe Stark, because I've been hearing stuff about her doing like some live shows. I don't know lately, but before live shows. So yeah, you say she's ready. She might be going up. I don't know if it's after this. I don't know. I was surprised we had no call-ups yesterday on Raw yesterday. No one showed up.
No Jay White. No Matt Cardona. Nobody. Brock Lesnar giving the finger.
Oh, yeah, that's the only call-ups we got. We got Brock's middle fingers. Yep, that's right.
Yo, so Jared, you're giving me life with these questions, bro. Like, at Stefan, will Ilja Dragunov take the title from Gunther on SmackDown? Oh man, that's a really huge question. If you guys have not seen Dragunov versus Gunther's series of matches, you're truly missing out. You need to go back and watch those matches. They're on YouTube there somewhere. Go and watch those matches. Those are works of art, complete masterpieces. Dragunov literally learned how to chop from Gunther. So if you watch TakeOver on Saturday, he got it. I think he said also, Steph, when Billy Stacks indie wrestler is ready to sign with the company, which company will that be? I don't know. Grand Poobah, what do you think?
What was the question? I'm sorry. Who's Billy Stars? I'm not too sure who she is. Who's that?
I'm just going to go with, the E. Everybody wants to go to the E, so let's just call it the E.
I'm not too familiar with her work, so I'm not sure, and I won't comment on it. But when we talk more, we got Pretty Deadly. They went against Tony D'Angelo and Stacks. A pretty standard tag team match. I did like the ending, though. I thought the ending was something I wrote on Twitter. I said, oh, Pretty Deadly did some twin magic at the end where one of them is draped over the ring dress. I believe it was Elton Prince. Oh, no, Kit Wilson. He had the ring dress over him. And Elton Prince said, no, get out there, right? Because they wear like the same getup, so you can't tell. And when he took it out, they realized that Kit wasn't the legal man. Prince gets the pinfall on Tony D. Like I said, some standard stuff, but I do want to say Tony D has been growing on me lately. Tony D was someone I was kind of not really feeling. I was like, he got the character work, but I like in-ring stuff. And I thought in-ring stuff was like, okay. But I felt like he really bought it tonight. Same thing with Stacks. Stacks is they make a great team. I think they complement each other and keep giving them some more reps. They really and I feel like that was the match that I forgot to talk about NXT Stand and Deliver because all of Gallus is back. The third member, Joe, is back. I believe it's Joe. I wrote down. I just know there's 3 people in this group and they just all look mean. So yeah, I didn't get a chance to talk about that. But this match was standard. If you missed it, you didn't miss a lot. But it was to put Tony D on and matter of fact, all 4 of them, man. Let me just throw it out there. Pretty Deadly is someone also, too, I think, is ready for the main roster. But Steph, why don't you take the floor, please?
I definitely agree with the fact that you said Pretty Deadly is ready for the main roster. I feel like they are just incredible in the ring. Like Pretty Deadly are just so innovative, and like their style is so their own, and they're so comfortable within their character work, within their in-ring stuff, that it's really great. They don't need any reps, so to speak, as you said about, Stax and Tony D'Angelo. I feel like they still need that time in NXT. But there are some teams on NXT that you could call up to main roster. Pretty Deadly would be number one on my list. And I also think Bron Breakker, who we're going to talk about later tonight, was somebody that I thought was going up, but didn't show up on Monday Night Raw. So we could be wrong.
Right.
So I thought this match was good for what it was. I did like the Twin Magic switch at the end as well. I thought that was pretty creative because he did drape the ring, ring dress over his head, and then that roll was so beautiful. And they slide out the ring, and they do this thing, and I don't know what the fuck it is, but it's awesome.
It's hilarious. It's a little take. When I saw that, I said, "Are they Scott Hall fans?" Because Scott Hall would do that, like that. So like I didn't know, but it was hilarious. But yeah, Pretty Deadly. They're great. We got Steph. Where's Scorpio? I mean, this guy he has all the questions here. This Jared.
Yeah, Jared. Yeah. I think it's Jared says, "Where's Scorpio Sky, Lee Johnson, Big Shorty, and Anthony Ogogo?" They're somewhere. They're not here. We're talking about NXT. That is AEW talk. Why are we doing that here?
We got next. We got at Grand Poobah. I'm glad it wasn't a question. We got Grand Poobah. Pretty Deadly. Pretty Deadly won't go anywhere on the main roster. Won't go anywhere on the main roster. Just look at the icons that couldn't connect to the crowd. I mean, I think that there's something about Pretty Deadly that they have it. And it took me a while to see, but they have it. They got the character work. The ring work stuff is pretty damn good too. But the main thing is that they have great character. I think they could get over on the main roster if given a chance and not shackled. If I can say that, as long as they can be Pretty Deadly and not pretty boring, I think they will do just fine on the main roster. Yeah, and that's all I ask for any of these guys and girls on the main roster.
I think a lot of people are scared. I think a lot of people are scared that because Vince is back in WWE picture as, the president now, that things are going, as CEO rather, that things are going to change with the booking. And like for people like Pretty Deadly, will they go up to the main roster? People like Ilha Dragunov, will they go up to the main roster and still be as successful as they are on the NXT UK circuit? I believe they will. I believe there are certain things that will have no problems. I think Jeffrey just said it. Pretty Deadly are charismatic.
Yep.
Charisma is the number one thing that gets over with fans. If you do not make anybody feel anything, you are not charismatic. You're dead in the water.
And you know what too, when we say the word charismatic, it doesn't mean, I can talk on the mic. Oscar don't really have the best English, and she's charismatic as F. Her movement and everything. I mean, you can feel the how charismatic she is. So there was something else you said, and I forgot. We got Jared. He said Chad Gable has great character. Yeah, look how he's being featured on TV and putting on some tremendous matches. You don't have to win every match. I don't think you have to win every match. And also too, they're having the King of the Ring coming up soon. And two people I would have as King of the Ring, if it's up to me, Chad Gable is one of them, and Montez Ford. I think those would be two great ones.
I would think that Montez Ford would use his rap name, which is King Tez. It would just make the most sense. Like literally make him King Tez. Like that would be awesome to me.
We got Jared got all the thing, but we're gonna move on. we're gonna move on for a minute, Jared. We're gonna get to you. We're gonna get to you guys in the chat. We want to say thank you again for watching Unpopular Review, the NXT edition. We got also a JC Jane promo. JC Jane, let's get her on the screen right here. This is the best picture I could find. JC Jane, she made it clear. She's bragging about costing Gigi Dolan at Stand Deliver. She talked about, said, "You think we're finished with each other?" And JC Jane tells her, not only did she break her face, not only she broke her heart, now she's gonna break her world. So now she's like a total Batman villain with this whole speech here. JC Jane, Gigi Dolan. I mean, I thought if she didn't get hurt at that what was it, Roadblock, I believe that they would have had a match at Stand and Deliver. So the next PLE is I forgot forgot the name. Damn, but it's in May. Is my point. And look like that's not even a great way to finish it because I feel like it's going to be a trilogy of matches. I compare this to Adam Cole and Kyle O'Reilly all them years ago. They fought each other, and they had 3 matches. So that looked like that's going to be the next time that they face each other. Do you want to add any thoughts to this?
I think that both women are very charismatic. I think we keep saying the word charismatic. Both of them are charismatic, even though one seems like a Batman villain and the other one just seems like, she's a motivational speaker at this point after being horrible to people on the main roster. I do not know why the NXT women's roster has not kicked both of these women's asses. I don't know why, but they're allowing them to feud. Instead of beating both of their asses for what Toxic Attraction did, they held the women's division for over 300 days. Let's not forget Toxic Attraction held the women's division on lock in NXT. Mm-hmm. So for me, I don't understand it, but I will say that I'm liking it. I want to see that series of matches. I think that we were concerned about what would happen to Toxic Attraction after Mandy Rose got fired. So the fact they're still being featured prominently on the NXT brand and they have a prominent spot in a prominent storyline, it's great to me. I really applaud Sean for that because he could have been like, oh, your leader's gone. We're sending you up to the main roster. We're going to bring somebody down to be the new leader, whatever. But they're allowing them to feud and to become single stars on their own. And I like that.
Jeffrey says Gigi will get her look back. Yeah, no, she's going to get her look back.
That damn look back, of course.
But the next encounter, I see JC getting because JC can't get blown out like that. She can't get blown out like that. No, she can't. It can't be Gigi wins this, Gigi wins that. I feel like it's going to be Gigi win here, JC win here, and then boom, the final encounter. And I don't know, they're probably fighting. I mean, if you really want to sell the feud in NXT, bump a cage match, fight in NXT parking lot. That's where you handle your feud. Don't do a cage match. If I'm in NXT, I'm like, yo, we need to finish this. How are we going to finish it? Let's have a cage match. Nah, that's for weaklings. Let's do it in the parking lot. Let's see who survives. And probably no one survives. It probably looked like a scene out of Power. Someone laid out with blood.
You know what I haven't seen in a while? A Falls Count Anywhere match. I'm a big fan of doing these matches in the 2K game. And if you guys don't have 2K23, get your hands on that game. It's incredible. Literally.
I got fired. I legit got fired. Shawn Michaels fired me. Now on the Indies. I hate Shawn Michaels. He just straight up fired me.
Yo.
He said, you know what happened? Real quick. There was a spot in this thing because I'm in I joined the New Evolution, which was a terrible idea. So I joined the New Evolution. I'm telling Sean, this ain't working, bro. And then Sean is like, just follow the process. Just follow the process. And I have been following the process, and it ain't working, Shawn Michaels. And then I try to tap Shawn Michaels, and then he just falls, hurt his wrist or something like that. Triple H checks on him. Next thing you know, I'm out in the streets. And I don't like that Michael Hickenbottoms. I deserve better because I'm the luck.
Tell us how you really feel, Jack.
This is why I'm a Bret Hart fan. Bret Hart this would have never happened if Bret was in there. But Shawn Michaels, Shawn Michaels stinks. But let's move on.
Jeffrey asked, how did you get fired in the game, Jack?
I got fired. They literally cut me off from WWE. Now I'm on the Indies. I'm in England right now. I'm in England fighting, eating out of a tuna can with orange juice on the side, which is a terrible combination, by the way. That
sounds terrible.
That is terrible. My stomach hurts.
All right. So I mean, I don't know, man. Jeffrey says that Gigi will get her lick back. Yeah. She has to win, but I feel like giving them a non-ordinary match, giving them a Falls Count Anywhere match, giving them that's
how you end the feud. That's how you clip the feud, though. You don't do that in the second. I think that the first one was a regular singles match, right? The second one, I'm trying to figure because you got to have some other stipulation. It can't be another one-on-one. If you do another one-on-one, fine.
I feel like a tag match of some sort. No. I
wouldn't even do a tag match. Let me interrupt you. I wouldn't even do a tag match. I would do some kind of singles match. And I love what Jeffrey said, where Gigi's gonna do some underhand stuff. Right? She uses a chair or something, and then she says, "Oh, you want to use chairs? How about we have a Falls Count Anywhere match?" Something like that.
Or maybe an Iron Woman match. I think an Iron Woman match would be even great.
It would be different. We could get
Iron Woman match. We've got Iron Man match, 60-minute Iron Man match. Why can't we have a 60-minute Iron
Have we ever had one? I mean, I can't think of anything on top of my head. People in the chat, everyone in the chat, have we ever had an
Iron Woman match?
Thank you. Well, why don't we talk about here? We had this one. This one, there was a lot of meat in this match. We had Odyssey Jones against Dijiak. As soon as I saw it, I said, "Oh boy, they want to get their big man match in." And I got to say, real quick, WrestleMania, Brock Lesnar and Omos was a lot better than I thought it would be. I'm not saying that was 5,000 at the Tokyo Dome. I'm just simply saying I thought this was going to be terrible, and it wasn't terrible. It was just right. So we have Odyssey Jones against Dijiak. Dijiak is a stud, man. I mean, he's great. I've always liked Dijiak. I didn't like when he was T-Bar, but I like when he's Dijiak. I don't know if I like the Sin City entrance, but whatever, right? I'm trying to find a picture real quick. But this match was it was a big man match. Is this it right here? Let me see. Is this it? Let me see. Is this the picture right here?
The Sin City vibe that he has going on.
Yeah, here we go. These two were in the ring. And I mean, look at it. You have Dijiak, he's 6'9", he's a pretty tall boy. And we got Odyssey Jones, he's a big boy himself. And and it was a big man match. He hit him with a Death Valley driver, like an assist Death Valley driver from the turnbuckle. Odyssey kicks out. Dijiak shows like, yeah, I'm 6'9", but I'm agile, bro. And he does a moonsault to put him away. And that was the match. I mean, this match really stemmed from the rivalry started from last week from the Battle Royal. And I guess Odyssey eliminated Dijiak. Dijiak wasn't happy because that wasn't justice. And you have these two fighting outside. So we have this match happen. What is your thoughts?
Big men should not move this well. I just want to start off and say, preface by saying big men should not move as well as Dijiak and Odyssey Jones move. Should not happen. I should not be seeing it on my TV screen. And the fact that I see it on my screen is incredible. I think that Dijiak is somebody that is literally ready for the main roster. He should go back now that he has his character back. I do think he should go up and not be, any type of male model. That's not a good gimmick, Vince. Don't do it to anybody. It's not fun. It's not such good shit. Don't do it. And I think, like Jeffrey said, like to see Dijiak to a moonsault. Like we've seen him go to war with Keith Lee. We've seen him have wars with different people. Man. This, like, his moonsault is a thing of beauty first and foremost. But I don't know. It's just incredible. He's incredible. Incredible athlete. I like this match a lot.
No, he's great. I mean, if you ever looked at any of his matches with Keith Lee, I remember one spot in the match some years back, Keith Lee was sitting in one of these chairs and he just did a swanton bomb. I was like, why'd you do that? Oh, because you can. And you were talking about him being called on the main roster. I wouldn't want to be back on the main roster. Not yet. Let him have a run here in the NXT. And I say that only because he had that run on the main roster. And they just – and I feel like his in-ring stuff was still good, but the Cap T-bar, I was like, what the hell's a T-bar? What's going on? So, I mean, I guess you could, but I would wait. I would give it some time before. Of course. Let some time go by before having him called up. And we got Jerry said, Odyssey Jones. Yeah, he does. He really, really does remind. Matter of fact, I wanted to highlight. Someone just said, I think it was Jared here. He said, could we ask the question?
Yes.
Women's Ironman, a women's Ironman match. And he said, yes, it was Bailey against Sasha Banks. I can't believe I forgot that. So thank you for bringing that up.
Thank you, Jared.
They did a Spanish Fly. I forgot about that. Yeah, I mean, Dijiak, I think it doesn't even matter how many times I see Dijiak. Like, same thing for me when I see Montez do the frog splash. I'm still in awe when I see it. It's always just an impressive athletic ability. And Dijiak, after he wins, he says his name is Dijiak, in case you didn't know. And he said now he's pissed off. And we had a Gallus backstage promo. Joe is back, and it looked like he wants to get some gold, but he realized to get gold, he has to go through people. So that was that. It wasn't much to really Dijiak. Oh my God. It wasn't much to dissect there. I don't know where that came from. Forgive me, guys. It's pretty late. But we have Dragon Lee, who debuted this past Saturday in the Fatal 5-Way. And he wins against Nathan Frazier, and you just knew this was going to be a good match. I mean, Nathan Frazier is really, really good at what he does. I mean, for God's sake, he was trained by freaking Seth Rollins. Like, you can't be trained by Seth Rollins and be bad. That's just, nah. I'm trying to find, give me a minute. I think this is it right here. So we have these two getting in the ring. Nathan Frazier, Dragon Lee. And just before the match starts, we have a wild Nomar Dar I'm sorry, I pronounced his name wrong. It's been a minute since I saw this guy. I didn't even recognize him.
Oh my God. He
Yeah,
looked like
it's been a
a
minute.
homeless person.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, he looked like a well-dressed homeless person. I just
Well dressed. So what you're saying is, I see what you're saying here. You're saying pretty much he has I'm not even gonna feed into this. I'm gonna leave you alone. Because I gotta say, when I saw the hair, I said, "Who the hell is this?"
He's back.
No, not for nothing. If you put the Joker face paint on him, he looks like from that scene from Dark Knight Rises or Return, whichever one, and he blows up the hospital.
Dark Knight Returns.
Dark Knight Returns. But yeah, I said, "Who the hell is this?" And I was like, "Oh, that's the guy who used to say Alicia Fox." That's what I remember him from the main roster. But I knew that he was really good in ring. I knew he was a good in ring talent, but that's all they had him do on the main roster. He was tag team with Alicia Fox. I was like, oh, I think they wanted him to say for reasons, but he's back. He came back. He have the Heritage Trophy. I'm not familiar with NXT UK and what that means. So if someone could explain it in the chat for me. But I realize it's a big deal. I guess that was like their secondary title because they didn't have a secondary title. It was something they did. I know there was a few tournaments that they had for this Heritage Cup. I guess he's the last one to win it. And he talked about he finally made the deal to come here to NXT, after a lot of negotiation and stuff. So this is a great pickup, honestly. This is a really, really good pickup because the guy can go. I've seen some of his in-ring stuff. I would cut the hair a little bit because he looked like a used mop. So he needs to get rid of it. But, that's neither here or there. I already spoiled the thing, but I think everyone already know who won. You guys came here just to hear our thoughts. But if you blinked, you missed a lot of stuff between Dragon Lee and Nathan Frazier. These guys went at it. These guys were just beating the hell out of each other. A lot of quick moves. Nathan was countering a lot of stuff. There was a spot where he ran up on the turnbuckles to hit that spot that his mentor does, like the suplex, but Dragon Lee counters, and Dragon Lee, he gets I missed what move he did to put him away. It was so quick. I stepped away from it. I'm trying to get pictures. Did you see what move put Nathan Frazier away?
I did not. I remember it, but I don't know the name of it. But I did.
Yeah, was it a kick? I'm just asking. Was it a kick?
It probably was a kick.
A kick usually puts people away.
I mean, this match was incredible. I feel like you said, like Dragon Lee, Nathan Frazier, like anybody who's trained by Seth Rollins is going to be freaking good. Nathan Frazier is definitely it. Like, incredible athlete. And that you kept up with Dragon Lee, who is known for his fast-paced wrestling, his athleticism. And it was an insane match. I feel like if you had a match of the night, for me, it's this one. And it was really great. They did some spots that I could, like, we consistently say this, cannot believe, like literally at your TV, like just stuck. So I enjoyed the match, and obviously Dragon Lee wasn't going to lose that. Nathan Frazier can lose, but Dragon Lee could not. It's his first NXT official match outside of TakeOver. They weren't going to have him lose at all.
This was a showcase for Dragon Lee. I mean, Dragon Lee had that showcase on Saturday at the Fatal 5-Way, but this was an opportunity to really get to see what he could do on one-on-one.
Exactly.
You want to keep up with everybody in a Fatal 5-Way because you saw him do some really good stuff, but then you have Axiom, then you have JD McDonough, and he might have headbutted somebody.
And you have Dragunov, who's just insane.
Dragunov just loves to fight. Dragunov loves
He needs to go to the main roster. He needs to go to SmackDown. Like, this man needs to be chopping somebody's chest off on SmackDown. I'm sorry. I need him to go to the main roster.
If he was to go to the main roster, it would be interesting. I think he would be a great mid-card because you don't want to put him in the world.
I would want to see him fight Walter. I think the comment was made earlier. Do you think that Dragunov will come and fight Walter, take that belt from him?
No,
I think arguably their 3 matches, their series, he definitely be a high contender for me.
I don't see him taking the title off him, but I believe that would be a match that, like, this weekend, if you were to say what was the best match at WrestleMania, like all weekend, that is the Continental match between Gunther, Drew, and Sheamus because of the hard-hitting style. So my point is saying Dragunov being on the main roster, I feel like that would be such a it would be a treat for people who really appreciate that style of wrestling because not everyone really likes that style. I love that style. I love that. I don't know if that necessarily all the time translate on the main roster because like someone pointed out in the chat that the main roster and the NXT crowd are two different things.
Of course.
But Jeffrey said this was like the Cruiserweight Classic. Yes, it was. It was a big time treat. And honestly, Nathan Frazier don't lose anything. I hope that they eventually realize they have something with him because I think he could be something. I remember when they had those it was the best of 3 or something like that. It was between Nathan and Axiom. I thought they would have been a really cool tag team. But hopefully they find something with him. We got Damian Priest versus Gunther. Who do you think? If you're talking about right now, I wouldn't have Damian Priest beat Gunther. I wouldn't have that personally. Who do I see? I still have Sheamus winning. I thought Sheamus was going to win this past weekend, and Gunther said, "Ha ha!"
I laughed my ass off because I called it. I called it from like a week ago when I heard the match is going to happen, and I feel like everybody, and I feel like I think Mike said this on the Mike Knox show. We fantasy book people we want to win, and it's who you want to win or who the storyline supports winning. Gunther has been on as great a championship reign as Roman Reigns in terms of the mid-card title. He's elevating that belt. You're not going to take it off of him midstream when he's doing such a great job of being a representative for the brand as Intercontinental Champion. But I think for a second, Sheamus made us believe he was about to win. So for a second.
No, he did. No, he did. And and shout out on him because I thought, the story was there for Sheamus, the guy the only title he didn't win. So I'm saying, maybe they'll do that Mania. On Mania they like to have those moments where, those happy feel moments, but
big moments.
But I'm happy Gunther retained because he has, and I totally agree with what you're saying, has done such a tremendous job on elevating that Intercontinental belt. That belt feels so special. So I understand why there's a lot of concern on the main roster, but I promise you guys, there's still some good things there. I promise you guys that.
I hate to say this, but did you see Gunther's entrance? I feel like if you have a title holder and their entrance is elite, literally don't take the belt off of them.
Is it all?
Gunther's whole entrance.
Is it all?
Huh?
What did you say? It's what?
His entrance was elite. It was
incredible. It all?
It was all really?
Is it all elite?
Really? Absolutely fucking not. I see what you did there, though. I did see what you did there.
That's why I was funniest host last year. You're right.
No, it was good. It was great. It was okay. I didn't want to talk about Jeffrey's comment. Jared's comment.
What do you say?
That mat is being sacred for a long time. Yes. Imperium. Yes.
Eventually he's going to drop the title. I just don't know when, but we'll have to wait and see. Okay. So we have Chase U. We talked about Gallus and all this stuff. Chase U, they have a segment. Andre Chase is happy that they are taking out Schism. He gave a lot of praise to one Tyler Bate, who was an honorary Chase U University member. And you see Duke feeling kind of hurt because he's like, yo, bro, he's great. He's tremendous. But I was the hero, which he was. He was the hero. Everybody, including my co-host, thought I was weird, which I am. But I called it. I said Duke is a hero. He's what the DCU needs, because MCU is going to be fine. DCU, because I don't know what the hell's going on over there. And he pointed out, yo, he felt shortchanged. He's like, yo, I helped. So what's going on here? And Andre said, you know what? I'm sorry, I'm doing injustice here. Andre says, you know what? You're right. He mentions that next week is going to be your week. You're going to get the MVP award, and Duke is happy. He's like, yeah, Chase U. Chase U is a big Chase U chant going on. So good for Duke. That's good for him. Did you want to add anything before we talk about this Alba Fire and Alabama?
I will say congratulations to Chase U for making 2 members of Schism actually ask for their release. I just wanted to point that out.
Wait, what?
Literally, there are 2 members. Members of Schism literally asked for their release from NXT and were granted their release. So that's been going out there. Literally happened today or yesterday.
I did. Wow, that's breaking news to me. I had no idea. Wow, really?
Yeah.
Well, that hurts Schism. I mean, wow.
I don't think there is a schism to hurt anymore.
Whoa. And
The Grizzly
honestly,
Young Vets, GYV, they were an incredible act before even being repackaged as Schism. And I feel like they were, obviously Schism is a new group. I think it is to help get over, the Rock's daughter. I really feel like they put some really unique veterans around her to get her over.
right.
But if you're not doing anything on the NXT roster, I mean, I would ask for my release too. If there's no chance of being called up to the main roster and you're just floundering, like, yeah, I'm not here to babysit the Rock's daughter. I'm going to go and do something elsewhere. I think that's what they basically said.
Wow.
Yep.
That's
Grizzled Young Vets. They're gone now, guys.
Yeah, the Grizzled Young Vets. That's because that vehicle was really, I mean, I think it was to help all of them. I mean, you got Joe Gacy. I mean, I feel like he's well on his own anyway, but it's something to help him, also to help the Grizzled Young Vets because they wasn't doing them for a period. I remember for a period before they even repackaged them. Wasn't they like shopping and trying to learn hip lingo? I was like, what are they doing with these guys? But then you have like you mentioned, Rock's daughter, who, I mean, this was really to help her. So that sucks. I had no idea about that. That sucks. And whatever makes them happy, I'm a believer in whatever makes a wrestler happy. That's good for you. I just had no idea. We have also this other segment. We have Alba Fire and Ladon. They're doing spooky stuff. They're celebrating their big win from Stand and Deliver after beating Kiana James and Fallon Henley. They're talking about having other challengers come after them, and they're like, yeah, I feel some other challengers approaching, but tonight we celebrate. So there's that. Well, let's talk about this match right here. We have Zoe Starks against Indi Hartwell. Big praise for Zoe Stark because I've been saying for the longest time, like, yeah, Kurt Maddox, she might not be that, but in ring work, it's crisp. And I thought that this was a great first opponent for Indi Hartwell, a great test for her. And Indi Hartwell retains. There's not even much to really break down in this match. I mean, these girls go back and forth. Zoe's just bringing the intensity into the match. Indy's bringing the heart. Every time it looked like Indy's being laid out, she's finding a way. I like that at the end when Zoe hit her finisher. It was like the 360 or something like that. And you have Indy roll out the ring. I like that a lot because it protects the finisher. I would hate for her to have hit that move and Indy would have kicked out. I don't like that. Not that I don't like when people kick out. I feel like don't overdo that. I don't think this would have been a great night to do. I would have saved that for like a big deal, like a pay-per-view or something, or PLE, right?
Exactly.
So I thought this was a pretty solid match. When she hits the 360, she rolls out the ring. Zoe realizes, I can't beat her outside like that. So when she rolls her up, she rolls her back in the ring. She gets rolled up 1, 2, 3, and Zoe Starks is pinned. Zoe is really upset, and I feel like I said this earlier in the night, but I sit here and say maybe this is it for Zoe Starks because I don't know what's next for her to do down here. And I think the women's division, you have her on the roster, I think would be a big time compliment. So what did you think?
I think that, like you said, like protecting a finisher is one of the most important things in the business. I think that we should be protecting finishers more. And this was a really great way to do it with having Indy roll out of the ring.
Yep.
As soon as that finish was hit. But I do think that you protected both your babyface and the challenger. Nobody looked bad in this match. Indy definitely was in distress for most of this match, and this was a test for her. And passed her first test with flying colors, completely, in my opinion. Loved the match. Loved the end of the match. Loved when Cora Jade came back with the title and literally laid it out on Indy. Like, she's getting challengers left and right now. You know what I mean? And it's literally about the chase, and it's about that champion holding on to the title as long as they can. So love it. And yes, just it's amazing.
Yeah, they're putting all the challenges her way. Indy has a lot of people coming her way, and we still got Roxanne, by the way, too, who I don't know where she's at, but
Look, this is my thing, right? We are all complaining about Monday Night Raw, and maybe watching it yesterday from a perspective of somebody who has to review it. Shameless plug, reviewing Monday Night Raw and Friday Night SmackDown on Sundays, guys. So that's actually happening officially this Sunday. But I will say that literally we complained about call-ups. There were no NXT call-ups to the main roster yesterday, and that normally is reserved for the night after WrestleMania. And a person like a Roxanne Perez could have showed up. A person like a Bron Breakker should have shown up last night. So I feel like we're still, primed to see if they're going to show up on the main roster, at least with, Roxanne Perez, because she's ready. She ready, as my partner says.
And I'm sorry, because I was trying to make sure I have my notes here. We have, I don't have no pictures for this at all, but we can talk real quick about it. Because someone in the chat, I believe it's H-Man, shout out to H-Man. He's like the president of the Jack Pack community, or what I call it now, the Jack Pack Empire. We're constantly growing. Next year, we're just going to call it the Jack Pack Galaxy. Always trying to improve. But we have Tatum Paxley against Ivy Niles. I just felt like they just put this match out there just to have a match on it. I mean, they have a feud, they have a reason for fighting, but it was nothing where I was like, oh, I'm going to take some serious notes here. So Ivy Niles get the win over Tatum Paxley after being turned on, 2-3 weeks ago. So she got her revenge. And a lot of people were so concerned about Ivy Niles being buried. I didn't think she was being buried. I mean, I guess I feel like when I hear the word buried in the wrestling community, I'm like, man, that's so overused. Like, if a wrestler used it, they said Cody was buried this weekend. And I was like, dog, what? He wasn't buried. Why are we? I feel like when we learn a word, like I was 5 and I learned the word shut up, I abused that. When I learned the word butt, I was like, oh, that's because you can't say ass when you're 5, but exactly. Butt, I'm gonna kick your butt. See, I abuse these words because I learned them. So in the wrestling community, I feel like when I hear them and they go buried, oh, Cody was buried. Didn't he get Samoan Spike then speared? I didn't see Roman spear him out of the. I didn't see Roman spear him out of the fucking area. What are you talking about, please? So
I'm going to say this, right? Like, Cody's literally, all right, so Cody's a little bit of a sore subject for me. So maybe very brief when I bring up Cody. Like, yes, we are not going to use the word buried for Cody Rhodes. Cody is literally about to fight for the chip. Literally going to have to go through adversity after adversity to get to that chip. It's about the chase, not just about the championship reign.
There you go.
Forget that. When it comes to, like, they literally are you're putting him in a program with Brock fucking Lesnar, who could have fucked off after WrestleMania. Could have been, I did my shit, I'm gone. He was literally thanking people like 2 weeks ago. Like, let's be real about it.
That's actually pretty hilarious because, like, when he came out, I mean, this ain't a Raw review. We don't know if there'll ever be a Raw review again. Oh, wait, there is some kind of thing going, right? Like, well, but real quick, real thoughts. When Brock was like, he's going to wrestle on Raw, I was like, is he? And I stayed up just to be fooled. And when he beat up Cody, I said, you got me. Yeah, you got me. You got me. And Brock beating up Cody and poor Cody Rhodes. But, ask me why do I think Brock beat up Cody Rhodes?
I mean, because Triple H is petty as fuck.
No, I'm not saying. You know what happened? He saw an episode of, was it Rhodes to the Top? And he never forgave Cody Rhodes. He never forgave Cody Rhodes. But let's talk about this match right here.
Yeah, he's being put in a crossroads. Yo, Jeffrey with the best comment of the night.
And you know what? I bet Jeffrey's laughing at that. Good job, Jeffrey.
This shit is gold. Like, literally,
Jeffrey's great.
He's being put in a crossroads.
Jeffrey's comedy gold right there. That was good. That was too good.
That was great. It was decent. It was decent.
No, Jeffrey's great. No, Jeffrey could be quite the comedy guy. Him, H-Man, they're both pretty funny. They're like a tag team. They don't even realize they're tag team champs. We have Axiom against Wesley. Now, let's talk about this match a little bit. I'm sorry. Let me get this graphic. I know I have a graphic somewhere. These two, right? For the longest time, Axiom has he's just been wanting to get a shot. Now, he had a shot on Saturday, but that was a fatal 5-way. But he was like, can we have a one-on-one? And I find it funny with Axiom and Wesley because it seemed like every time you see Wesley, Axiom is right there. Like, I think he was in the bathroom with him in one segment. But they're at the airport, and don't get me wrong, I mean, they just came back from California. So, right, they probably were on the same plane. But I just seen Wesley, Axiom right behind him. I'm like, okay, dog. Like, Wesley's a married man. Give him some space, dog. But these two, you knew these guys were going to go in the ring and just kill it, and these guys did just that. Axiom and Wesley put on quite the performance out here. A lot of quick movements. It's really hard when you have a match like this and there's so much quick movement and you're trying to write down everything. All I can tell you, there was a lot of flips, kicks, punches. Axiom is just tremendous. He did this one lucha move and he hopped on the ropes, and I think he did like a Hurricane Rana or something like that. Axiom is great, as you guys could tell. But Wesley get the win. I like this finish. He went for the golden ratio and he missed. I'm sorry, Wesley. He took advantage and he hit the Dijiak kick. I'm sorry, I want to make sure I got that all right. And he beats Axiom fair and square. I thought it was a great match. I thought it was great speed, and this match was great. I guess the best way I can go. What did you think about the match?
I think I wasn't familiar with Axiom because I want to be honest here. I'm not an NXT guy, not at all. This is why I'm not on NXT. This is why I'm not on this brand. But Saturday afternoon, I watched TakeOver, and I watched all 5 of the men involved in the North American Championship show me something. Wesley is literally one of the most exciting North American champions that has ever been around. Yep. And you have the likes of, you have the likes of freaking Adam Cole. You know what I mean? It was a North American champion. Johnny Gargano, former North American champion. You know what I mean? Carmelo Hayes, North American champion. He is the most exciting, impressive in the ring out of all of them. And it keeps you on the edge of your seat. And I feel like when you have a match, it's like a dance. Your dance partner is literally is the most important to you. And Axiom showed me something on Saturday night, showed me something tonight. Like completely insanity what these two were doing. Fast pace, crisp movements, great finish. I feel like it was an amazing match. I don't have more to say about it than that. Like, I can't break it down better than that.
No, it was a tremendous match. These guys shake hands. And I feel like they knew that these two were going to be great on a one-on-one. That's why they waited when to pull the trigger to have these two go at it. Because Wesley had a really good match with Nathan Frazier, too. It's something about, I feel like, I guess, what they complement each other. It's like you mentioned, the speed and the crispness. After the match, I almost wrote Schism, but Scripps, he shows up. And I laugh at this view so much because it's such a superhero gets a supervillain kind of vibe here because Scripps supposed to be the villain. And he said, I'm going to expose you. Wait and see. I'm going to expose you. And he goes in the ring and he gets kicked in the face. And Axiom just one-ups him. So he uses Axiom senses to pick up that Scripps were trying to attack him. The crowd just cheers loudly for him. And that looked like that's going to be the next feud for Axiom. I feel like they were teasing this for the last few weeks. I think also in the Battle Royal. There was a few times I feel like I saw Scripps try to attack Axiom, but that looked like that's going to be the next thing for Axiom. Real quick before we get into, because that was the main event wrestling-wise, let's get to the final segment here. But real quick, let's hype up the stuff for next week. So next week, we have a few things. We talked about Cora Jade. Cora Jade made her return tonight, but when asked about what is she doing back, why did you attack Indy? She said, "Oh, you want answers? Watch me next week." So she'll be talking live next week. Also next week, we have a rematch from Stand and Deliver. We have Alba Fire and Al Ladonna against Kiana James and Fallon Henley. They're going to go for the women's tag team championship. We also got, and good for my man right here. I've been calling it for the longest time. Duke Hudson. He's going to get the MVP trophy presentation. Good for Duke. And I don't want anybody on this fan wagon now and like, oh, I like Duke. There's not enough room. This is for one seat. If you want to get to this presentation, take the bus. And after taking the bus this weekend, because it was hell to get to Chicago, I don't recommend it. Especially Greyhound. I hate you. And also next week, we have Von Wagner. He picked a fight with Dragunov. He looked at Dragunov and he said, "You're talking a lot for someone who lost last week." And Dragunov was like, "Well, at least I was invited to a fight. I've never had anybody say, at least I was invited to fight." So Dragunov is a special person here. So Robert Stone tells him, like, "What are you doing? Why are you trying to get into a fight with him?" Von Wagner says, "I do what I want," which I always laugh when people say that because I say there's rules and regulations, so that's not true. But Mr. Stone says, "All right, you want that match? I got you. You got it. You got it. We got that match next week. But tell you what, if you lose next week, we're done." And this is really the end. I don't see how Von Wagner beats Dragunov. So this is like this is the end. I just don't see it happening.
It's damn well not going to happen. Ilha Dragunov is the truth. I'm sorry. Dragunov lost at Stand and Deliver. He's winning this one. He's getting his dub back. Like, it's not happening. Like, I literally, I can't do that.
We got, let's get into the chat real quick, and then we're going to, like, call it a night. It's, what we got here? Wesley's putting in work as North American chef. Shout out to him, and absolutely putting on a lot of work. We got Scripps jumped right into the kick. Yeah. Axel says he's going to expose him. Damn. Yeah, they kept saying they're going to expose each other or something like that. I couldn't hear him through the mask of the chant, huh?
I'm going to do this right now, okay? If y'all already don't know that A-Kid is Axiom, he is A-Kid, okay? A lot of people telling me A-Kid is not around anymore. A-Kid is Axiom. Axiom is A-Kid. He is he. They
even teased something some weeks back. It was Tyler Bate and Axiom. And he was watching the match between Tyler Bate and A-Kid. And he said, whatever happened to that A-Kid? They did something to just make a reference. So, yes, absolutely. They need to retire that script gimmick. Poor Reggie out here looking like an unfinished. Only true. Oh, Dead by Daylight. There we go. Dead by Daylight reference. So happy, Mommy, Kulo, Cora back. Happy to see her go after Indy's title. Yeah, it's really great to see Cora back. I don't know what was the thing, but it's good to have her back. We have Axel says he's going to expose him. Doesn't he know that we know it's Reginald? Reggie? I had no idea. Next week he's looking like a poorly produced McMahon production. That's something. Will McMahon be back in charge? I need to appreciate TK more. Who's TK?
I have no idea.
It's Tony Khan. No they have us here to do wrestling. You gotta come on, get together. But real quick, I thought I had this in the thing real quick because I don't know if they said next week this was a thing. I don't think I have it up here. I'm sorry. Give me a minute, folks. I'm so disappointed. I thought I put this all up here. I thought I was prepared, but I wasn't here. But this thing coming soon is this individual's name is Tank Ledger, Omar Thema, and Danny Palmer. These are some newcomers coming up. I don't think they said when exactly they're coming up, but they will be coming up soon. And let's talk about this. The main event of the night. We have Melo's his celebration. He won the NXT Championship over the weekend. Let's get a picture of him because I know we have it. Give me a minute here, folks. But yes, he comes out. He's happy that he's champion. The crowd is really feeling him. They're like, yeah, Melo. They're happy that he's NXT champion. He gives praise to Bron. He sits in and says, I defeated a great champion. He calls out Bron. Bron comes out, and he as he comes out, they talk about how they give each other a lot of respect. And I did want to say this real quick because this was a funny thing between them the last few encounters that they had. But at the end of Stand and Deliver, Braun puts his hand out and Melo does this. I don't know if that's a running joke between them backstage, but I just thought that was funny. But, he's giving him praise. He raises his hand. He said, "You're the better man." And when just before Braun leaves, they shake hands. And you knew the boom was going to come. he clotheslines Mello, then he slams Trick. I'm sorry, Trick is so great. I love Trick. He's tremendous. I feel like this year, I think I said before, it's going to be a breakout year for him. But Braun, Spears, Mello, and a lot of people saying, "Oh, Braun turned heel." I don't know. You really think he turned heel, Steph?
I do. I think that you needed to do something to keep him on the NXT brand, at least through the next pay-per-view for NXT. I think that they're not going to have this match. They're probably going to build this match to the next pay-per-view, and Braun is going to lose. Braun is going to lose the rematch, and he's going to get called up.
Yeah.
I think that Vince coming back, and I think that this is a product of coming back. A lot of the call-ups and a lot of the things happen this week in professional wrestling in terms of WWE aren't happening. So maybe they had him penciled in to come up to the main roster, and he didn't because of what Vince, all the changes to the show that Vince made. So this heel turn, it's really great. I feel like it's good that him and his girlfriend, if you don't know, Bron Breakker is dating Cora Jade. They are both heels. It just works. So I like that they're on the same side. Jeffrey says that I sense the heel turn coming. If you see a distance between your opponents, something's going to happen.
Yep.
Definitely show. Literally, you're either going to get your head kicked in a door or you're going to get speared by Bron fucking Breakker.
There's certain things in wrestling when something's going to happen. If you ever see Shawn Michaels stand like this, you already know you're about to eat sweet chin music. So, no, he's absolutely right, because it's wrestling lore, like how Jeffrey just mentioned, when there's a space. And I've said, oh, he's going to attack him, especially when Braun left and he brought him back in. I said, something's going to happen. Something's going to happen. Because and truth of the matter is this, I don't know, Mello, I don't know what's going on here, Mello. If the homeboy's leaving, let him leave. Don't sit here and say, "Hey, come back in here." No, don't do that. Get out. You lost. But now we got now you have and yes, I agree to that. Jeffrey said, "Look at Jey Uso to Sammy." Absolutely, there was space, and there was enough space for him to eat. He wore some Jordans. I'm terrible with numbers with Jordans. Like they be like, these are the Air 5s. I'm like, cool. But yeah, Sammy ate some Air 6 or something like that. I don't know. But I agree to everything you said, that they're going to have this rematch at the next PLE, and Braun will be called up. I think after that, there's nothing left for Braun to do. I think Braun has done such a great job as champion. I like to give flowers because I give Braun a hard time. But he's definitely done such a great job as champ. So after Mello beat him again, he could go up to the main roster, and I think am I concerned about him on the main roster? I'm optimistic. I would like to believe that he will be just fine on the main roster. I would like to believe that, because there's been a lot of people who've been caught up and still under the Vince McMahon watch, and not all of them have succeeded. I give you that, but there's some that have still made it, and they're doing a pretty damn good job. If I could say someone, I think what's his name? Matt Riddle's doing a pretty good job. I know he just came back, but I think he's doing pretty decent on the main roster. And that's just someone I could think of, like, just on top of my head.
I think if you look at where Ricochet has come, he's come leaps and bounds. He's, in terms of being an NXT talent that is now on the main roster. He is incredible. Arguably, now they're showcasing him more. Yep. So I feel like, he can survive. Obviously, Braun can survive the main roster curse, so to speak, of getting up to the main roster and becoming cannon fodder. He's exactly what WWE wants. He's a big guy, has good promo skills, is extremely talented in the ring. So I think that's something that they want.
Yep. And that was pretty much, do you think would be the one to be? No. Honestly, right now, with Mello being champ, no, I don't see that. And I'm saying right now, because Mello just won the championship. So I can't call it right now. And also, too, Jeffrey pointed out KO and Sammy. Absolutely. But, because they've been on the main roster for such a long time that they're pretty good. But I was thinking of someone who was just kind of called up recently. And I know Matt was called, 3 years ago? Because I can't think of any other talent at the moment that was called up since. But
Johnny Mildly. Johnny Mildly. He did have a little bit of a good when he was feuding with Theory. That was some fun stuff he was doing on the main roster. So I'd say Johnny. Like
I would like more for Johnny. I don't think he's hitting on the main roster like how I would love for him to, because I think the man is so talented. but he's not hitting like that. But I also would say I would give it some more time.
Exactly.
I would give him some more time. That's the thing that you try to work on, is saying give it time rather than, because a lot of people be like, "What? That didn't work? That sucked." And he's like, "It's been only a day."
Exactly.
So give it some time. But that's the NXT review show. Thank you for filling in. There's so much content here on Unpopular Review. So if you guys like wrestling, right now we have the NXT review show, and we also have the Mike Knox show. He's on Mondays at 6 p.m. and it's for the intelligent wrestling fan. I think we have some other things growing here in wrestling.
We have another show that is just coming on Sunday.
Woo.
I'd like to introduce you guys to the Monday Night Raw and Friday Night SmackDown review show happening Sundays with me and my partner Dice, man. We are going to be doing that every Sunday. So please try and tune in for that, guys. We would really appreciate the support and continue supporting everybody here, because we all work damn hard to bring you guys content. So you guys, love you guys. Want to bring you content.
What time is the Sunday show? Please tell the folks.
What time is the Sunday show? Damn, I have to really think about that. Like, let's just say this Sunday, you'll see us at 11. Let's work Sunday to Sunday.
So there you go. You heard it right here first, that there will be some Monday Night Raw and Friday Night review content here, if you guys are interested in that. And also on the entertainment side, there's a lot of things going on. They just did Jack, there was no screaming footage. I kid you not. No, there was no screaming. I kid you not. I was not in the best place to be on air, but I wanted to be on air because you guys, see, I had a babyface promo here ready, but you guys are the reason I get through things. So you guys are awesome. So no, there was not a lot of yelling. There was a lot more of regular review. So I'm sorry if I bored you with my regular stuff, but I'm glad that I'm here, and I'm glad that you guys are here. And I'm going to say thank you guys for continuing to support this lovely brand, because it's an amazing brand. It's not only that we talk wrestling here, but we also talk entertainment. They did a thing earlier before NXT went on, and they were reviewing the first John Wick movie. So they're doing a review of the series. So I'm assuming, well, nah, 2 comes after 1, right? So John Wick, they're going to be reviewing John Wick 2, I'm assuming, next week. So continue to follow Unpopular Review Entertainment. And also, let me plug in, she could not be on tonight, but she's a lovely spirit, and I want you guys to support her in anything that she do. The captain was not here tonight, but you can see her later in the week. If you guys just want to hear her thoughts about professional wrestling, you can catch her for Women's Wrestling Talk. It's it's Thursday, 5 p.m. She's talking Women's Wrestling Army. It's a fun show. And she's talking NXT with Katrina, who at 7 p.m. So please watch her stuff. Who, by the way, quick shout out. It was hell to get to Chicago, but we were able to get there. And they had such a great panel. And it was so great to hear these women talk about their perspective of wrestling. So it's great. So shout out to them. And that's pretty much all the plugs. There's links to a lot of things. We have the Big Pop Theory podcast. We don't know when we're going to do an episode, but there's links to all those things. So lovely, jazzy things. And I want to thank you, Stefan, for being on air to join me to talk NXT. And we got, we say good night. So you want to say good night to the lovely folks?
Good night, guys. Good night. Have a great night.
Bye, guys. Hey guys, thank you for watching Unpopular Review. You guys are awesome. You guys are great. Have a great night, and we'll catch you for the next review.
See ya.
Good job.